Hey everybody, it is Trags, Mike Petraglia, back with another episode of the JungleRoar podcast. As a matter of fact, the final episode before we take our own summer break, along with the players, coaches, and administrative staff of the Cincinnati Bengals. They are ready and already going on summer vacation after their final Thursday mini-camp practice inside Paycor Stadium. It was a full 3-day mini-camp for the Cincinnati Bengals. Some teams choose to allow their team to go out a little bit early from mini-camp and get on with the summer vacation. The Bengals, Zach Taylor explained this on Thursday at his press conference before the summer vacation began, that they went lighter at the beginning of the off-season practice regimen and decided to go a little bit heavier toward the end. But really, when it comes down to it, Zach Taylor admitted that the Bengals didn't have very intense physical practices as it is. The NFLPA and the NFL do not permit any pads. They don't permit any type of contact. That's why you don't see any real running drills. You can't evaluate the running game during off-season practices and whatnot. You have to really wait till the pads go on during training camp, which will begin for the Bengals on July 26th on the Kettering Health training fields outside Paycor Stadium. That is when the training camp will begin for the Bengals. 10 practices open to the public, and that is available on my website at clnsmedia.com. Look at my 5 things to consider for the summer vacation, and at the bottom of that column and that post, you will find the dates for the fans who will be able to go out and attend the training camp practices. But we're talking about the mini camp that just completed inside Paycor Stadium, and some of the takeaways I have. Also completed a interesting one-on-one with Irv Smith Jr. I find him to be a very interesting case heading into the offseason and heading into the summer break for the Bengals, because he is a tight end who has some pretty big shoes to fill. Everybody knows how CJ Uzomah did back in 2021. Hayden Hurst picked up the slack last year for the Bengals, and he had a very good second half of the year, had a very impactful playoff season for 3 playoff games for Joe Burrow and company, especially in the red zone. So Irv Smith Jr., the talent out of Alabama. He started his career, of course, with the Minnesota Vikings, playing in 2020, missed the 2021 season with meniscus issues, missed the whole season, came back last year. He has 9 career touchdowns with the Minnesota Vikings. Bengals taking a chance on him with a 1-year, $1.75 million prove-it-to-me contract, and that's what Irv Smith Jr. has to do with the Bengals now, is prove it to him, prove it to the team, and prove it to himself. And I had a chance to sit down after he caught a couple of touchdown passes from Joe Burrow during minicamp drills on Wednesday and Thursday, and after practice on Thursday. Had a chance to catch up with Irv Smith Jr., and here's what he had to say.
Amazing. It's important. All these reps are very crucial for us, leading into training camp and things like that. So every rep for us, we've been treating it like a game rep and just getting that timing together, and him knowing where I'm gonna be, me knowing where the ball is coming and things like that. Just getting that connection, and it's been great.
What about the classroom work? How important has that been, and how integral will that be going forward, not only to your success but the team in general?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's been very important. Learning this new playbook, just been attacking it every day with Coach Casey, and I've been a blessing to have a coach like that, as well as Coach Callahan, giving me little notes and things like that. Just focusing on the little things. It's the small details of this game that really matters, and especially in clutch games and those kind of performances. We're going to be in a lot of big games this year, so just mentally preparing that. Every play we out there, treat it like a game rep, and just get that timing down and playing football, the game that we all love to do.
How has Brian Callahan helped you with the details of the offense?
He's helped me tremendously. Different routes and things like that. Focusing on, the small, minute details of, getting to your correct landmarks, getting your correct depth. Making everything look the same to the defense. So, just creating the marriage between the run and the pass, all of those things. It's been very crucial for him, and this whole coaching staff has been, welcoming arm. Coach Frank at the O-line and just everybody. It's a team effort.
Also seems like there's some really good friendly team competition out there. You had a catch over, I believe it was Jordan Battle today in the red zone. How do you learn from each other in cases like that?
Yeah, we out here competing. Everybody's trying to be their best self every day. We trying to get, take it one day at a time. But yeah, going against the defense and those guys, they have a lot of experience. Battle, he's a rookie coming in, but he's played a lot of great football. So it's good to go against guys like that to get them better, but they're also getting me better as well. And any way I can help those young guys. I talk to them as much as I can, and give them as much feedback. And that's the beauty of going on year 5 now. I've been in the league some time. I've seen what things are supposed to look like. So I can show guys the right way and lead by the right example.
One thing, Irv, that is pretty obvious from just being around and being inside this locker room is the camaraderie, the energy. A lot of guys have mentioned the vibe in this locker room. I assume you've been around long enough now, last several weeks, going on a couple of months, to kind of pick up on that?
Yeah, this team is a connected team. We all have one goal, and that's to win. And when you come to work with a group of guys who have same mind-like goals, and we're all on the same mission, it makes coming to work fun every day. It's a grind. Football is not supposed to be easy. That's the beauty of it. And when you got your brothers and you can go out there and compete together, it makes everything a lot more fun, easy, and just more smooth.
It also gives you a taste of what to look forward to in about 5 weeks at the end of July.
Oh yeah, the season is gonna be a lot of fun. I know we itching for it, but like I said, we got these next 6 weeks to kind of relax, get the body right, fine tune on training and things like that. And July 25th, when we report, we're going to be ready.
That's Irv Smith Jr. He has quite the opportunity in the Cincinnati Bengals Joe Burrow-led offense to make a mark for himself, just like C.J. Uzomah did in 2021. Of course, Hayden Hurst last year. Hurst, of course, leaving the Bengals and signing a deal with the Carolina Panthers, along with Von Bell, the Bengals' free safety who left for Carolina. But Irv Smith Jr. has a lot of potential in this Bengals offense, and certainly he is going to be somebody that I think Joe Burrow is going to look to implement in the short yardage and third down situations. Of course, look for him in the red zone for any opportunities to score a touchdown. They look to him in the final practice on Thursday inside Paycor Stadium, and he made a very nice catch over rookie Jordan Battle in the back corner of the end zone. Really an athletic grab, and that's precisely what the Bengals and offensive coordinator Brian Callahan and Zach Taylor are looking for from Irv Smith Jr. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't give my 2 cents on the latest brouhaha between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. Really tongue-in-cheek. This isn't a big deal, but of course the media and social media being what it is today in the sports world, it did get blown up a little bit. Thursday night, the Kansas City Chiefs received their Super Bowl rings for beating the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57, of course, in Arizona last February. And Patrick Mahomes had a little bit of a clapback for one Jamar Chase. I think it was in all good fun. I don't think it's a situation where he's particularly bitter, and I'll tell you why. Jamar Chase, after Joe Burrow said on Tuesday in his press conference that Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world right now. He has the Super Bowls to prove it. He has the statistics to prove it, the MVPs to prove it, and Joe Burrow said there's no doubt about that. When Jamar Chase was asked that same question, who's the best quarterback in the world, he said, I don't think there's any question. It's Joe Burrow, my guy Joe Burrow. And then he told that Joe Burrow had a different answer, and he said, and he was told, Pat, and then Jamar Chase says, Pat who? Well, what do you expect Jamar Chase to say in a circumstance like that? If he's going to err, he's going to err on the side of supporting his guy, the guy that's throwing him the ball 80 to 100 times a year for well over 1,000 yards, the Bengals certainly hope. he's going to certainly support his guy, number 9, Joe Burrow. That's not necessarily a slight to Patrick Mahomes, but again, in this day and age, athletes will look for any advantage, motivational and otherwise, that they can see fit to. And that's what Mahomes was doing when he clapped back on Twitter on Thursday night after getting his Super Bowl rings, held up his hand with 2 Super Bowl rings, of course, from Super Bowl 53 and Super Bowl 54 and Super Bowl 57, just won this past February, again in Arizona. He held up that picture for Twitter and said, "That's who." So that's a little bit of fun for the offseason heading into the summer vacation. Again, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think that the Chiefs are looking at that as their sole motivation for trying to go back-to-back. And if they run up against the Cincinnati Bengals, I think by the time the game rolls around on New Year's Eve, this coming New Year's Eve in Kansas City, there'll be a lot more at stake and there'll be a lot more talked about at that moment in time than what Jamar Chase said about his own quarterback, Joe Burrow, versus Patrick Mahomes. We'll wait and see. Maybe it'll turn into something, but I would highly doubt it. What will turn into something are the contract negotiations that are ongoing between the Bengals and Joe Burrow. Of course, the Bengals trying to get that deal, that extension done before the season begins so they can hopefully move on to extending wide receiver T. Higgins and linebacker Logan Wilson. Of course, if you're talking about numbers, and this is pure speculation at this point, as I wrote in my column on CLNS Media, you're talking about a situation where Burrow is going to get at least 5 years. Lamar Jackson, of course, got the 5 years, as did Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns. They got 5-year contracts, and Patrick Mahomes got a 10-year deal. Really what it comes down to is, does Joe Burrow want to take more years, make the contract more team-friendly so the Bengals can spread out the cap number and the bonus money, or does he want more money up front? And that is something that, of course, a lot of us will be watching in the media in the coming weeks as the Bengals look to get a deal done between themselves and their franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow, before 2023 training camp begins. Again, that will be on July 26th outside Paycor Stadium on the Kettering Health training practice fields. Again, follow all of my material on Twitter at Trags, Trags. Follow me on YouTube. The JungleRoar podcast page on YouTube would be at JungleRoar Pod. Until the summer vacation is over in late July, this is Mike Petraglia, Trags, signing off on the JungleRoar podcast. Thanks for downloading this episode, and we'll talk to you in late July.